If you want to take your home arcade to the next level, then you need to pick yourself up a couple of these. Welcome back to the Underground Arcade. My name is Bronson and I am on a quest to build my own home arcade in this shed I'm sitting in. And over the last sort of few weeks or a month, we've been slowly but surely doing up this old arcade machine. So I bought an old cabinet with nothing in it, and we did a bit of hardware in one of the videos. We mounted all our buttons and controls and the monitor. Just got an old computer monitor in there. And then in the second video, we looked at running a Raspberry Pi in here. So this has got a Raspberry Pi which runs RetroPie, and we talked about how we load ROMs onto that. Then in the third video, we completely rewrapped it. So we did new marquee artwork, we did a wrap, we put speakers in it, kind of buttoned it up a bit. But I do want to give this machine a little bit more love. This is my baby, my first ever arcade machine. So I'm going to treat it today. I have bought two of what is often considered the holy grail of arcade sticks. I've bought two Sanwa JLXs. If you're relatively new to arcades like I am, you will see Sanwa mentioned a lot, especially when you're looking at different options for arcade sticks. Sanwa Denshi is a Japanese company. They've been around since the 40s. I believe 1942 they started making electronics. And in 1982 they started making arcade sticks. And in 2012 Sanwa released an arcade stick which was pretty popular, and it was sort of considered the standard for the next 10 years. That was the JLX-TP. That came out in 2012. And in 2022, around then, the JLX-TP came out, and this was sort of the next iteration, I guess, of their quite famous JLF stick. So the JLX had a few improvements over the JLF. Apparently it's a bit quieter. They used a few different components, built some bits a bit bigger, a bit sturdier, and yeah, I picked myself up a couple of these. Now we could do a little bit of a what's in the box unboxing, but you don't actually get much in the box. You get your stick. It does have a restrictor gate on the bottom, a round edge restrictor gate, and you get a ribbon cable. Now the ribbon cable is a bonus because it means you've only got one cable between your USB encoder, if you're using a machine like this, and your joystick. I'm currently running in this machine the Zippyy, these sticks right here. I don't know much about Zippyy with two wires. I just found these cheap when I built this machine. They're quite noisy. It's a very noisy arcade stick, and they obviously look a lot cheaper than the Sanwa. They're probably half the price easy. One thing that does annoy me about the Zippies is each switch on the bottom, each of the 4 micro switches, has its own lead coming out of it. So little spade connectors and then its own wire. So you would have seen when I was wiring them up, you've got to kind of get your head around the left, right, up, down aspect of it, being in reverse. Also, when I put this machine together, one of those spade connectors, 1 out of the 8, fell off. And so we're having playing and just realizing one of the inputs wasn't registering properly, and my children were getting a bit frustrated. I realized it was because the spade connector fell off. So certainly having the ribbon cable on the Sanwa is going to be pretty nice. So a quick side-by-side comparison of the two. You can obviously tell straight away by looking at it, the Sanwa is a lot more well made than the Zippyy, which makes sense, it's twice the price. The other quite interesting thing is the mounting plates are quite a bit different size. The actual overall size of the Zippyy is quite a bit bigger. Yeah, kind of interesting. You might need to take that into account when you are retrofitting a cabinet like this where there's already pre-existing drilled holes. The other thing I really like is that the Sanwa is really quick to return back to its negative position, its home position. So if we put an input in, you'll see it bounces back straight away to where it needs to be. The thing with the Zippies is that I've found is that they are a little bit slow to return back. So they're almost, if you're looking at them side by side, you can almost sort of tell they take a little bit more time to return back. So if you're putting inputs in and letting go, a little bit slower. In fairness to the old Zippyy, it's probably just got an old spring in there. I might need to just whip that spring out and put a better one in, but yeah. Now the other thing I really like about the Sanwa sticks is that you get a restrictor plate in the box, and that is adjustable. So I don't know if you saw the last video, but we sort of talked about the difference between 4-way and 8-way sticks and why some games need a 4-way stick rather than an 8-way. And one cool thing about the Sanwa is that you can take the restrictor plate off the bottom and you can take the center of the restrictor gate out. I keep saying plate. Restrictor plate gate. You can take it out and you can rotate it and click it back in. so that it will favor the main 4 inputs, up, down, left, and right. It'll still allow diagonal inputs with the gate that you get in the box, but you can favor those inputs for playing your old, classic games, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, that sort of thing, where, the inputs matter, basically. So kind of cool. You can just clip it off, change it really quickly, clip it back on. There are other Sanwa restrictor gates you can play. If you prefer octagonal gates or that sort of thing, you can buy different plates for those. All right, let's head over to the workbench now. I'm going to whip these old Zippy sticks out of this cabinet, put the new ones in, and we'll see how it plays. Well, there you go, some new sticks in my arcade cabinet here. They do feel quite nice. Will they make me any better at playing 1942? I don't know, I doubt it. But it is always nice to put nice hardware in your nice things, isn't it? So I don't know if I said earlier as well, but the JLX, the sticks I bought, they retail in New Zealand for about $60 each. The JLF, the slightly older version, retails for like $40 to $50, I think. Yeah, I might pop some links below for Amazon if I can find some. But yeah, quite nice sticks. We'll see how they go over time. Now I've got plenty of fun videos coming up on this channel. We're obviously going to build out my arcade, like I said earlier, and we're going to learn a whole lot along the way and hopefully get into some really neat machines later on. So if that interests you at all, maybe hit that subscribe button. If you got any questions, chuck them in the comments. We can have a conversation there. I'm going to play some 1942 and I'll see you in the next video.